I'm bored, so let's make Conway's Game of Life inside of Roblox. First we need to actually make the grid. Okay, so something like this should work. Now we just want to start with the alive or dead value. So we're going to put a Boolean value, and this is going to determine whether it's dead or alive. Alright, here's what we got. This part over here is going to check every single cell on the grid. Because our configuration is going to look like this, where the cell the script is on is in the middle and the neighboring cells are around it, it's going to check every cell if it's within this range of the green square. Once it finds one, it's going to add it to a list, and it's going to determine how many neighbors are alive and how many neighbors are dead. If there are less than 2 neighbors around it that are alive, the cell will die. If there are 2 or 3 cells alive around it, the cell will stay alive. And if there are more than 3 cells alive around it, the cell will die because of overpopulation. Now we need to apply the rules of Conway's Game of Life and write a script that will determine whether the cell will die or stay alive in the next generation. And there we have it. This section here will check if there are 2 or 3 neighbors, which will keep the cell alive. This one over here will check if there are less than 2, which then it will make sure the cell is dead in the next generation. And this does the same thing if there are more than 3 cells alive. So over here we have our cell, and then we have 3 alive cells around it. We run our script, we could see that our cell is now alive. If we were to delete 2 of these so that we only have 1, and now if we run the code, this was the problem. It should all be fixed now, and as you can see, we get 0. Now the easy part, we just need to update the cell, change its color, and change the value inside of it. And there we go. In this scenario, if we run the script again, the middle cell will die. Now I want to add a click detector to each cell and be able to click it to toggle it on and off. And there we have it. Now if we click on this cell, we can toggle it on and off. Now we just run the satisfying script. Now we can go around and select which cells we want on. And if we run the script, that's not supposed to happen. I guess for one, it's really laggy to run an individual script on every single cell. And in this case here, some cells will actually register before the other cells. So what I mean is, say this cell might be scheduled to run the script before this cell, even though the script is both ran at the same time. So this cell might update first, and then this cell will realize that this one has updated, and then it will update based off of the new generation, which is not supposed to happen. So instead of what we could do is we could have one game script that will handle everything. We're going to give the cell a buffer state. So it's going to run each check. It will determine if the cell needs to be alive or dead in the next round, and it will change the buffer state instead of the actual state. Then once all of the buffer states for every single cell are changed, it will copy that buffer state onto the actual cell state. Because we're checking the cell state of each cell, this will prevent some cells checking other cells that have already been updated, which means we'll get accurate results and everything should update all at the same time. So here we go. This main script will run through every cell. It will apply the checks for it, and then it will set the buffer state to that value. Then it will update everything over here. It will set each cell state to its buffer state. Now if we select our cells and run the script, hopefully... So it turns out I missed a small detail. Let's say the middle cell is dead, and surrounding it are 2 alive cells. Nothing will happen to the middle cell. But if there are 3 cells surrounding it that are alive, then the middle cell will also be alive. This just means I have to implement the detail into the script, and it should work again. So I just have to separate the 2 and 3 neighbors alive, and if there are 2, we need the script to do absolutely nothing. So now if we go ahead and run the script, that works, and that works. Perfect. Now we can test out different things, like this, which will be constant, or this, which will also be constant and never change. And if we introduce something new, that will happen. Now we can do the satisfying command again, and all of this gets filled up just like that. We can draw whatever we want, and as you can see, we have ourselves a glider. Now it's time for some cinematic shots of this thing in action. Thank you guys for watching. This isn't normally what I do, so if you like this, then leave a like on the video. But yeah, this was just a little fun experiment that I decided to do, so I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.